the thing is that, like, well, people don't come into my gym because of CrossFit. I'm like, if you could only see the Google trends and searches for CrossFit versus Sherman's gym, I mean, it's not even comparable. And it's not going to be comparable. Like, yes, I could say, have there been things in the last few years that suck? Sure. Is there, but I don't know. I don't really buy the whole people aren't coming into my gym because of CrossFit.
You're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
Gym Marketing Made Simple. Today I have a special guest, my guy Andrew Charlesworth. He's the Midwest affiliate rep. And Andrew, thanks for hanging out with us, buddy. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you guys and everything you do. This is exciting.
So, if someone's like, who? Andrew, well, I've never heard of him. Give him a little backstory. Affiliate owner, Midwest rep, like how did all this happen? Yeah, let's talk about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody in CrossFit says, like, I've never heard of him, I'm like, well, you've probably been living under a rock then, because I started working for CrossFit in 2013. And I mean, I'm fresh out of college. You and I were just talking, college athlete coming in, didn't really know what I was going to do. And then, took my level one, I can't remember, maybe 2010, 11. And I was like, I'm going to do that because I was always really good at presenting. Yep. I got a lot of other quirks, shit wrong with me, but like getting up and talking in front of people has just never been an issue for me. I have no idea why. So 2013 level ones were booming. I mean, I went in and just interned, got the job, and I was like, holy shit, I actually got this job, because they didn't hire anyone. I mean, it was the volume of interns that just boom, boom, boom. And I was like, oh man. And then, so I was a personal trainer at the time. I was coaching CrossFit at the time. And then slowly started making enough money doing seminars in one weekend. And I was like, damn, I got to work really hard to make that amount of money with personal training. I'm just going to be a terrible personal trainer. And then they said, hey, you're not even trying. I said, you're right. So I'm going to stop that. And then just full-time CrossFit. 2015 opened a gym with my wife. And then, fast forward, the affiliate representative position was created in 2022, I think, and started as the Midwest guy, because I've done close to 300 level one, level twos. I don't like traveling that much, so I've stayed around the Midwest area, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Chicago, Minnesota a lot. And so the volume of people who I've seen through their L1 and L2 has been pretty high. So that's where I started.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I always, I always said for me, I was going to get into the whole red shirt thing. I wanted a red shirt, especially when I was young in my CrossFit career. Had the fortune of becoming friends with Chuck Carswell. Everyone knows Chuck. Everyone. And I remember looking at Chuck like, man, I could do this. And he was like, you can, blah, blah, blah. But then when I started realizing, I had my gym, I was just like, man, it would be so much for me to leave most weekends, run my affiliate properly. So I just never got into it. Now that I don't have a gym, I should.
You should
reach out.
I mean, you should reach out to Chuck. I mean, like, the thing about Chuck Carswell is, you look at there's those special people in the world, right? Like, why does everyone like to talk to Joe Rogan, or why? It's like Chuck Carswell is that human being. You're like, what is? And I boiled it down. I'm like, all right, what makes Chuck Uncle Chuck and this and that? Like, first of all, he just will text me randomly something about the NBA or such, checking in, and like, we don't directly work together anymore. And it's like, and I'm like, man, am I that special to you, Chuck? It's like, he makes you feel like the most special person on planet Earth when you're talking to him. Yeah. You have to dig to ask him about himself. It's almost like a boxing match. He will focus on you and put his heart and effort into you, to the point where you're like, oh my God, I'm so loved in this moment. Or wait a minute, let me ask you something. And then he'll go right back. Right. No. But he's such a great guy.
No, he is. He is. My first time meeting Chuck, I remember going to my level one way, way back in the day. Didn't know anyone, but I remember when I went to the cert, I was like, I've heard of this guy somehow, or maybe I got in contact with him before. But we went out to dinner that first night, because back then, like I knew Sunday was off the table because back then all the guys went out on Sunday and sort of had their cheat meal after the
Hmm.
seminar. So I know I couldn't get in on that. So I got him. I want to say I got him Friday night before we started. We went out, like you said, like if you reach out to him, he's gonna respond. And we sort of hit it off from there and just stayed in contact throughout the years and saw the success he had and stuff. But nevertheless, so let's sort of jump into it. Let's talk about you deal with a ton of affiliates, right? A ton.
Yeah.
And I had the fortune of coming up the Rogue HQ up in Columbus, seeing. I mean, you guys had a massive turnout. How many folks did you guys have there?
We had like 180.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that was the biggest. Yeah, that was the biggest one that I had.
The biggest is
Um,
always the Midwest. I've kept
yeah.
that title for a while when it comes to those
Oh,
big things.
okay, okay. So when I was there, we were there on behalf of Lasso, of course, representing Lasso, and you know, you spoke highly of paid marketing, which is a little different because a lot of people they don't understand it enough, or they'll just say, oh, you need to have, if you get 4 red shirts in your gym on staff, the gym will grow, which your coaching does need to be absolutely phenomenal. I'm not saying that, but that's only going to get you so far.
Well, I can
So
say that. I feel like everybody says that so kind, like you do, and we have that culture where people are like, no, coaching, coaching. Like it actually, it's been proven that it doesn't matter about business health. It's been
yeah,
proven because how many shitty gyms out there that are not CrossFit affiliates or that are like wannabes or something like that? How many of them just print cash? And
yeah,
that's, to me, that's not very fair. I'm much more of I'm much more of a Robin Hood type guy, right?
yeah,
Where I I like the concept of stealing from the rich and giving to the poor, and that's why it got me into finance. And so I look at it this way, man. Those gyms with terrible coaching, terrible quality of product, have fancy lights, have great sales tactics, have
yeah,
great systems and components, have ways of confusing you to pay the price. You end up paying $315 a month without even thinking about it. They're winning in terms of business health. Now
yeah,
we're winning in terms of feel good and actually
yeah,
doing good. But
yeah,
my statement has always been you can do good and do well. You can do both.
yeah.
So and one's not necessarily better than the other. Um, if it's just scary because all these good coaches, you took your level one, all you care about is coaching. You have to like put business on the evil side.
Yeah.
You do. You put
Yeah.
sales on the evil side. You put money on the evil side. It's like it's not. It's really not. You
Yeah.
should be getting paid.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, no, no. I mean, you're exactly right. You definitely should be getting paid. And I believe that, sort of one of the, like one of the biggest things that we've seen by working with, affiliates and everything is that you can have great coaching, right? Like you can have it, but if you're if you don't have a way to collect leads and have a solid business, nothing else matters. Like you said, there's gyms out there that has piss poor coaching, but they got everything else right, and they print cash. And that's the
Mhm.
thing that we're trying to bring to the affiliate side because we've been affiliate on. I was a 13-year affiliate owner, so like for me, I want to see us that are yes, I believe our product is better and all of that stuff, but if we can't get it out in front of them, if we sort of stay up under this rock of saying, oh, the people will find us, or if I have to track them down, they're really not interested. That's not the case, right? Like if these
Right.
people were like if they were dedicated, if they were uber dedicated and all of that, well, they'd already be in shape somewhere. So some of
Yeah.
these people need us to understand sales and follow up and marketing and getting out in front of them to really help them get to the next level because I know that we work with some franchises and man, they're doing they're doing big things sort of like out of the gate, right? They're doing big things out of the
Yep.
gate. They have marketing budgets And that's what I tell folks. That's one of the biggest things that I see is, you know, if you're not really thinking about this affiliate ownership as a business from the beginning, eventually you're going to be behind the eight ball. It's going to be a hard battle back. And that's why we're trying to help so many affiliates with the paid marketing side, because all the quote unquote real businesses, they do it. All of them. Every
Yeah.
last one of them.
And also one thing that if you are, so let's say that you are on the side of what you're talking about, you want to put the majority of your time and effort and energy into coaching and the methodology. Here's the easiest, this would be a good hack to get people to listen to this. Here's the easiest thing you can possibly do to be good at sales. If you know nothing about sales and consider yourself a bad salesperson, go up to a whiteboard with a human being, a prospect, even if nervous as shit. Write down the 10 general physical skills. Let's see if I still got them. Cardiorespiratory, endurance, strength, stamina, flexibility, power, speed, coordination, accuracy, agility, balance. Fuck yeah. And then I want you to stare at them on the whiteboard and then look at the person and then look back at them and then look back and just start talking about, hey, like, does cardio sound like something you would want? And they're like, yeah. And you're like, oh, okay. Guess what? We do a shit ton of cardio. Well, it'd be cool if you were like, you had some agility, right? You want to play with your kids and balance so you don't fall when you get older. People die when they fall, right? Because they can't get up and their bones are brittle. Oh, do you really want to be jacked and looks like strength? And then also, do you want to be able to like do a random 5K? It would take you a lot of time and a lot of energy to do all that separately. What we do in here is all of that together. And I tried to give that bad, like I tried to give that nervous,
Yes,
right?
correct.
If you randomly accidentally do that, even poorly, any human being is going to be like, that makes a lot of sense, right? That makes a lot of cuts, common sense. You're like, yeah, I'd like to be able to be an amazing human. And then if you really want to get tricky, diss your competitors in that pitch, not angrily, just be like, well, some things, like if you just want to be a runner, you're going to miss out on a lot of this. Or, hey, if you just want to row under orange lights and you want to run, and you want to do some of this, you're probably going to miss out on a lot of this strength building component that might shape your body in a way that you would like. So, I mean, you can go any way with it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And speaking on the sales piece, I think, that's one of the factors that I want to see us as a community get better at, because we're still hearing I don't like sales, I don't want to be sleazy and all that, which I get. Like I get where it's coming from. I get what they're saying. But at the same time, you don't go to the global gym or you don't work in the global industry and be like, well, I don't want to do sales. That's not even an option.
Not even an option. Yeah.
That's where most people start off at. Like, hey, we're gonna get you a sales job. You gotta earn your stripes here, right? You better sell this many memberships. And for us, I tell everyone, especially on the sales piece, if you're uber nervous and all that stuff around it, talk to the person, right? And talk to them about their biggest problem, right? Whether it's weight loss, whatever they're trying to figure out. And then just simply talk about how your gym fixes that problem, right? So you present your gym as a solution to their problem and say, hey, we can help you with that. You go through it, we can help you with that. Are you ready to get going?
Yeah.
And it's really that simple, but I believe at times folks try to make it too complicated. They insert themselves in it, and then it's just this weird thing that it really doesn't need to be. Like, I really do. So what are some of the, you deal with a lot of affiliates now. What are one or two other things that you believe affiliates are sort of missing out on when it comes to sales and marketing?
Sales and marketing. So I think the first thing that they're missing out on, let's go marketing first, is it's not a plug for you guys, but I'll plug you guys, is that they're not organically probably going to come into your door a ton. They're not. And when I say who they is new people who need to find you. Word of mouth and using your existing clients is still always going to be the cheapest and hopefully, best way that you can get people in the door. But if you only rely on that, I like to think of this as a decay, right? So like, it's funny. I was like, man, I almost made my own business yesterday. I'm not going to talk about it, but I started to like, I'm such an expert in certain things. I want to help certain affiliates based just on investing, creating an income factory. I'm much more of an income investor versus a growth, and I wanted to teach them behind that. So anyway, if I do it, I'm going to hit you guys up for free marketing. But the decay is what you need to learn. Like if you buy an asset and you slowly see it go down in value, right? Like it's decaying, right? You got a couple options. You can either sell it, you can cut your losses, or, if it's paying you back, you can either reinvest during the decay and actually still come out on the upside, or you can take, that money and reinvest it in something safer. I look at that decay right now in the affiliate landscape as I'm just going to rely on my people, and that should be good enough. It's not going to be good enough. You need to, if you're not going to pay and get online with Meta and Instagram, Facebook, all that, you guys, then you need to be at every local coffee shop, you need to be hyper local, a lot of man hours and manpower. And I'm talking 3 times a week, and that's a lot because you're coaching, you got stuff going on in the business, you're probably the janitor, you got all that shit. So that's why I think using, something like you guys, and if you don't have a lot of money, if you have a cash flow problem, this is where is hiring a mentor to talk about coaching really going to be the smarter thing to do? Or if you're on your last dollar to put it, maybe try to go with you guys and get some leads. I've preached that to a lot of people.
Yeah, and this is just throwing this out there because we just met with our mentor, right? And last couple of months, like we've grown the business like 2 times, like almost 100% every year. And everybody hits a point, right? Everybody hits a point, and almost like gyms. And we always say our best clients are ones that like they're hitting 100 to 150 to 300 members, anywhere to 1 to 300 members, but they're gaining as many as they're losing, right?
Right.
And our growth slowed down. And it's like, once you have the business foundation, you went through the mentorship, you have coaching, you have, all these sales system, all this stuff, but you're losing, you're basically just staying stagnant. There's only one lever to pull. And our mentor goes, "Hey, Blake, do you think that you might have wrote that to yourself?" And I was like, oh, dang. So we went and spent $3,000 on ads this month, and we've signed up 5 to 6 people a week because we realized, hey, we spend money on ads, but not like we're doing the last month and a half, that it's propelled our growth. And because we've pulled those levers, we've gone to those, because he's like, "Hey, what else could you guys do?" And I'm like, "Hey man, just to be honest, like we've done everything. We're doing our podcast. We're doing other people's podcasts. We're going to these affiliate meetups. We're sending out text messages. We're posting every day. We're posting 2 to 3 times a day. We're doing daily growth videos." I was like, this isn't me being lazy. This is me saying we've extrapolated everything we can do. So he's like, "Okay, put more money behind paid marketing. What's your cost per book call? $50. Okay, if you close at 60% and you need X, let's do the math." And literally sometimes it's as simple as that. You got to pay to grow, and you have to invest in marketing because people aren't going to find you unless you get out in front of them all the time.
Yeah. And the simple path, I look at it in the way CrossFit gyms exist. I've said this on multiple podcasts. Like, let's look at CrossFit, but let's look at a economic, macro, and even micro cycle. When CrossFit boomed, we were coming out of a dead 10-year decade of the S&P 500 actually returned negative like 0.6 for 10 years, from 2000 to like 2010 or 9. And obviously we had the great, housing market crash in like 08. So in 08, 09, when CrossFit started to become big, every single landlord who was leasing out fucking space. Is this split? Am I going to get this thing done? Have you guys cursed on this before?
Yeah, you're good. No, you're good.
Okay, all right, yeah, sorry. I'm already 0 for whatever. So now you have landlords being like, hey, you want to pay me $200 a month? I haven't had a freaking client
Correct.
in there.
Yep.
Take it. Oh, you want to hang some ropes and knock a couple walls down and put stall mats? Yeah, sure. Because all that drywall and wood, like, I don't care. I can redo that as long as you're going to give me money. And then
Yep.
the whole world, the exercise fitness world, was in a like a really punk rock era where we're like, man, there's some bad information going around, right? There's some bad science. Like, I think these drug companies really are out to get us. And then who comes along with CrossFit? And we are just this Pukey the Clown, fucking people puking everywhere, getting jacked, doing things that we didn't know were humanly possible. You could just
Yeah.
buy an affiliate, you could put CrossFit on there, and it was so
Ah, good old days.
you would
Ah,
just
yes.
get people. Yeah, and it didn't have to be clean. Matter of fact, it was almost more appealing that it was kind of dirty and grungy,
Correct.
and
Correct.
it was this cult like club. And so what smart people and big private equity firms did was they realized, there's something here. What's the parts that can make us money, and what are the parts that we don't need? And I would challenge affiliate owners today. I don't know where I'm going with this, Blake, but I think I just took it. I would challenge affiliate owners today to inverse that fight. Be like, okay, what does big private equity, like, what do people with money think and do? And how do they act? All right, am I so emotionally attached to my rig that I couldn't run my business without it? I got deep into like the kettlebell world for a while. I set an American
Yep.
record. You can check it for the IKFF. Still exists for
Yep.
my weight class for just the snatch event. And it was cool because, I met with the coach and the CEO of the IKFF. He's a local guy. So it was cool to go there. And they had these like tiny little platforms, right? They're like Olympic lifting platforms, but tiny because you just stood on it and did the kettlebell shit. And all the kettlebells were right there. And I was like, man, this takes up like no floor space. I'm like, what if I put like a assault bike right there and just had kettlebells? I could get 30 people in a room, and I could do constantly varied functional movements at high intensity and crush it.
Mm.
Now, it would look way different, but
Yep.
I'd also be able to write a program a year in advance. I wouldn't have to really get new equipment. I could focus more on making the experience, the lighting cool, the music, maybe other apps, this and that. I could just run paid leads. And then, all right, efficacy. Am I going to get people fit? Absolutely. If I put you guys through some, I called it bikes and bells workouts, you'd be crushed. You'd be crushed because like doing thrusters with double 53s and their 70s there if you need it,
Yeah,
double
that's too
70s,
heavy.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's too
right,
heavy for me.
exactly. But if you saw a guy in there hitting 20 unbroken thrusters with the 70s, ripping the assault bike, and then doing some burpees, you'd be like, God dang, I think he's pretty good,
Yep.
And then so
Yep.
those are just little things. If you take, okay, let's inverse. What did they do? Well, they took the coaching out of it. They put more of a gentler, easier way to get there. And I fight back. You can do the same thing again and just try to capitalize on it.
Yeah. And I see it a lot of like we're getting on a lot of these calls with current clients that their lease is running up and then these people don't want them there anymore, or they're going to have to pay double for the square footage that they need. And it's
Yes.
like, and Stu's been talking about it for years, but he's like, do more in a smaller space.
Yeah.
Right. And exactly what you're talking about. And I think what a lot of these gym owners are experiencing, especially CrossFit, they think they need this 5 to 10,000 space where the yard, all these franchises, X4, Metabolic, all this stuff are operating in 2,000 square feet because they can do it well and get people, maybe not the same results, but they can get a lot more people in and be a lot more profitable.
Mm-hmm.
And with, like you said, a much cooler, nicer feel because they're money backed and you just can't compete.
Yep.
And so you have to, it's like anything, right? Unless you're going to change and be different, you're going to be stuck in behind. And, we get it. Like people are like still in like the old drinking the Kool-Aid days of CrossFit. And guy just got off a call. He's like, yeah, well, all these people want to look good without their shirts on and look, the old CrossFit look good naked. I'm like, bro, you're talking 10 years ago. Like, we gotta move our language, right? Like,
Yeah.
He's like, well, why don't the website companies have coaches on there? I'm like, because you're making it about you. Nobody cares about the coaches. They care about you getting them results.
Yep.
And so I think
Yeah.
that's exactly what you're talking about is like, you can run a great program. It's still going to get them great results. It may not look the same, but you're going to be more profitable because you don't have to buy new kettlebells. Are going to last you forever.
Right.
And they don't take up tons of square footage with barbells, but people are like, well, I got to have barbells. I got to have a rig. I got to have all this stuff. It's like, no, you really don't.
Yeah. I've done a lot of podcasts with Stu over the years. We've become pretty good buddies, and like we definitely share that same sentiment. And I shrunk our gym, and there's just so many creative ways. Like, you can look at your space and be like, all right, I'm running the 6 erg model, right? So, and then even look into that, like what ergs take up the most space? Well, it's definitely rowers. It's definitely rowers because they fold down. So we were writing our own programming, and we used an erg in every workout, because, and then they were all about 30 plus minutes. And everyone was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, because people want to move for like 30 plus minutes. That's what they want to do. And then, like, well, is there time for coaching? I'm like, yeah, it's in there. Like, you can come to class if you want. And then what erg did everyone always pick? Because it was like transferable. Like, I don't care if you use the runners. I don't care if you use the C2 bike, the ski, the row. The runner was a different one. But like row, ski, bike, you can even talk to Concept 2 about this. They'd be like, well, which one's easier? Doesn't matter. They're all calibrated exactly the same. Like, no way, man. Ski is so much harder. I'm like, no, you just suck at skiing more. That's okay. So you don't write, like I said, RX is 20 calories, 14 wall balls, 7 power cleans. That's a workout. RX weigh 185, 20-pound ball. And they're like, yeah, but I use a different erg. Doesn't matter. And then everyone would always grab the Concept 2 bike. Why? It's easier, and they use it as a little bit of an aerobic rest. Am I mad about that? No, I'm not. And then guess what takes up the least space? Bikes. So I ended up getting like 15 bikes. So I was like, because I wanted to have, classes of 30. And so it's like, well, yeah, bike, and that's it right there. So thinking like that is where I'm going with it. But another problem, because you asked for a couple, Sherman, is that people are, they're too concerned what's going on with CrossFit. They think way too much about, well, I'm going to de-affiliate because people are scared of CrossFit and CrossFit. So I'm like, oh, you guys, you're paying a small licensing fee for a year. You get a ton of benefits. You get to talk to me. You get to come on a business. Like, you actually get way more right now than you ever did. And then the thing is, like, well, people don't come into my gym because of CrossFit. I'm like, if you could only see the Google trends and searches for CrossFit versus Sherman's gym, I mean, it's not even comparable, and it's not going to be comparable. Like, yes, I could say, have there been things in the last few years that suck? Sure. Is there, but I don't know. I don't really buy the whole people aren't coming into my gym because of CrossFit.
I think I've seen that as well. Me, I was a CrossFit guy through and through, all the way out. But there's people that decide to de-affiliate and all of that. To me, that is not going to. Let's say you're an affiliate and then you de-affiliate. That is not going to all of a sudden take your business to the next level. No. I actually believe it's actually going to hurt a little bit because now you don't have all of that name and stuff behind you. Yes, maybe there are some people that saying I'll never do CrossFit, so I won't go to CrossFit XYZ, but I'll go to Sherman strength and conditioning gym. Oh, like there are probably some, but for the most part, again, I don't think it's necessarily about CrossFit or this and that. It's about, can this gym solve my problem, right? Mm-hmm. Is it the solution to my problem? So that's why the sales comes into play. And I believe that so many people are just missing the mark, right? They try to make it about the gym, them, kettlebells, rowers, burpees, all it. Okay, that's fine. But when this person walks in your gym, they don't come in and say, hey, I want to do some burpees today. I want to do this workout. They want to say, hey, I'm trying to lose 15 pounds, man. Can you help me?
Yep.
Yes, we can. No, this is how we do it when you're ready to get started.
That's amazing. I mean, and also it just depends on if you build your business. For a while, we were trialing I had a business, call it a course maybe, going for CrossFit probably a year ago. And I brought like 8 new affiliate owners on this call, and I explained to them the economics behind a CrossFit gym and things they need to think and consider, and the models, right? And they were kind of confused with the
So
model
there's
piece. I'm
between
like,
two
well, there's different
locations, you spent
models, right?
$30,000 for a
I'm going to
grand
tell you,
opening
you can try
of
to
like founding members, and
charge
each
people. I
location in
didn't,
like Houston area with
I'll
200
use the
members
popular
each.
terminology, the
And
PT
we're like,
first,
we're
getting your arm
working
up the
with
highest.
a
The more
franchise right
hybrid
now
approach where
to
you
come up
actually
with,
are pushing a lot of your,
what it looks like to
call it
get
open
started.
gym, and basically
And,
you're a functional
they're
training
going to spend
facility where
3 to 5
people want to
grand
do
per month
X, Y, or Z. You have a
on
lot of
paid marketing
hours,
before
or
they
your
open.
gym split down the middle where
We
you
were
have
supposed to have
that
a 3-month
24/7
runway
going
with
on.
a
Like
guy
that's a
with a
big thing that
test.
you can do
We had a month and a
in
half. We
market.
spent
Then there's
$4,500 and
the
opened with
classic
85 members.
shit, man. I forgot his name. He's out of
Yeah.
Florida, but he runs a mentorship program. It's very small. Oh, I got to give him credit. I met him and I hit him with every question thing related. And his philosophy is pay yourself what you want, 100 members. Doesn't matter.
Hmm.
It's like, and he's never deviated from it.
Yeah.
4 classes a day. That's
Huh.
it. 4 classes a day, 100 members, pay yourself what you want. And then like he kept going with that. I mean, it's a lot greater than that,
Yeah.
but
Correct.
just know that if you get 30 members, you are, you're 30% of the way to your 100% of
Yeah.
whatever. I think it was pay yourself 10 grand, 100 members, whatever. And then
Yeah.
just do the math. And
Yeah.
that's what your price is going to be. And more
Mm.
than likely, you're going to have a lot of value built in there, but
Yeah.
you're going to figure that out, right? I mean, a lot more personal with 100 people only. You're going to know a lot more. And so really, you can choose those sorts of things. But just like Blake said, that's getting hard when it comes to real estate right now. Real estate's
Yeah.
crushing. It's crushing a
Yeah.
lot of gyms.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I look back at my gym, I sort of got in at that right time. I moved into a 5,200 square foot space. I was only paying $2,800 for rent. They did some work on the building, and I did take the business side of my gym serious from the beginning because I started in my garage. But like my gym, the most we ever had was 130 members, but I was paying myself like 12 grand a month. Like
Yeah.
paying myself like 12 grand a month. Ran some stuff through the business. Coaches got paid well, so like it was a good thing, right? Because I think if like me, like I knew from the beginning, like, hey, this thing has to work because I have a wife and 3 young kids, and no one works outside of the home, so like it had to work for me. So when you come
Yeah.
in with that mindset, sort of like this girl that opened those gyms at the yard, like she knew she wanted this to be a legitimate business from the beginning, right? I imagine she's going to have multi units if she opened 2 with 200. But a lot of times, we just come into it just sort of kumbaya. I want to help people. I want to, be the best coach. I want to, and that's fine and dandy. But eventually, you're going to have to make money to continue to grow and continue to even preach the message.
Yep.
So, Andrew, so you're the Midwest rep, but I know you can help anyone. If someone wants to get in contact with you to ask a few questions or just, be connected, maybe someone's in the Midwest doesn't know you. Maybe they've been living under the rock. How do they get in contact with you?
Yeah. It's just Andrew.Charlesworth, my name, at CrossFit.com. And a lot of people don't know Midwest is based on affiliates, population, whatever. So like, no, Minnesota is not in my region. Majority of people think that. And then Tennessee is not the South. It's included in the Midwest. So a lot of them get confused too. And Kentucky, they're like, what? But yeah, just my name, and I can direct people anywhere they would need. If I will, probably direct you to your rep. It's their job to have you, but I definitely get a few other people on my Tuesday business call. That's a big one. If you are listening to this and you're in the region and you're not on my Tuesday business call, you guys have come on there a couple times. I'm
Yeah.
talking about business every day, not coaching, nothing like that. I have had bankers on there from the SBA. I've had experts in, have I had an accountant on there? Can't remember. Probably, I've had every program when it comes to like, push press or this thing or that, like they've all been on there. So, and I'm not afraid to tell people how it is either.
Yeah, no. We know that. That's good. That's good. Well, Well, man, thanks for hanging out with us today. Like, we really appreciate it. And we'll definitely have you back on sooner than later. So, guys, as always, tell a friend to tell a friend to tune in, and we will chat with you guys next week. All right.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's LASSOFRAMEWORK.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.